Congratulations on your purchase of a spot-free rinse tank. You're now ready to rinse your car, house windows, or solar panels. Let's get you set up. In your box, you'll find your spot-free rinse tank, the size that you've chosen. This one's a medium, a 10 litre. You've got male garden hose connectors. It's already pre-filled with resin, so it's just ready to go. A bypass valve, an external bypass valve. We'll show you how to use that later. Around approximately 2 meters of hose, which just helps you connect it in line with your current setup. A TDS meter, which tells you how many minerals are in your water, so you can test your house water, and you can also test it as it comes out. It'll be 0 when it comes out. And also just the instructions that basically got you here. The TDS meter measures exactly how many minerals are in your water. TDS stands for total dissolved solids. So you could test your incoming water, the water that's coming out of your tap. It'll probably be somewhere between 50 or 30 to say 500, depending on where you are. If you're in WA or South Australia, probably closer to the 500 mark. After it comes through the tank, it will take it down to 0. How long between resin replacements really just depends on your water and how much you use it. So all you need to do is turn the TDS meter on, pull the bottom cap off, and you fill it up with water, and then put the TDS meter back into the cap with the water inside it, and it measures the TDS of the water. So your house will show higher than 0, and after it comes out through the tank, if you test it again, it'll show 0. If you've received an external bypass valve, the purpose of it is to basically bypass the tank. So you can do majority of the wash without the purified water, which just makes it last longer. So if you just set to divert around, so you plug it in, on the in, the water goes this way, and it comes back out that way. And you can do majority of the wash without the purified water. And then when you're ready to do the rinse, you just switch that one off, switch that one on, and the water will go through the purified water and do what it needs to do. This just preserves the resin, make sure that you're using it for what it's intended to. You're not wasting it, so it lasts as long as possible. It's needed more by people with very hard water, people in WA or South Australia or regional areas, stuff like that. If you've purchased one of these, this is a tank head bypass, and what it does is basically the same thing this does. So you've got the bypass function, so it's got the bypass function and it's got the filter function. There are 2 extra functions that have been blocked out because this head can also be used for a different type of system, but all we're using is bypass and filter. Same thing, water in. If you have it set to bypass, it will just divert and go straight through the tank head, and you can use it, normal tap water. And then if you set it to filter, it'll go through the actual tank and it'll use purified water. So this just means you can use the same hose. Just be sure when you're using bypass, you're gonna still have some tap water in the line. So just flush that out, make sure that all that's flushed out, and then you can start using filtered water. To connect your tank, you simply plug in your tap water into the inside. So this is with the bypass valve. You can use it with or without, whatever your preference is. You connect it in, the tap water comes in. What happens is the water goes down the tank and it comes into contact with all the resin. So it goes down the tank, and then once it reaches the bottom, it gets pushed up a tube and it comes out. As the water travels through, the resin removes all the minerals and it comes out totally pure. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can plug this shorter hose into your tap. It'll go through the tank, and then you can have your longer hose and run it out to the car. Or you can run the longer hose up to the tank and keep this close to your car. And if you've got a pressure washer or something like that, you can just connect that straight to your pressure washer and use that hose. The second option preserves the resin life a little bit more because there's less water stored in the hose at the end when you're finished. So you've got, let's just say, 30 meters of purified water just sitting in the hose, not doing anything. Whichever way is easier for you. I prefer to just plug it in like this and use the long hose. It doesn't matter, but whichever way you want to do it. Wash your car as you normally would. Start from the top and work in sections. This stops your soap from drying before you rinse it off. Once you're done washing, rinse off all the detergent thoroughly using the purified water from the tank. Make sure you rinse before the sun has a chance to dry on it. That's one way to do it. But if you're doing it in the shade, you can do the entire wash with just your normal tap water, and then right at the end switch to purified, and all you need to do is rinse your tap water off your car before it has dried onto your car. So if you're doing it in full sun, we suggest rinsing the detergent off, work in sections 1 at a time. But if you're doing it under shade, you can do the entire wash and then just rinse it with purified water. This would preserve it even more. You'd use less purified water, meaning it would last you longer. The only reason you'd see anything left behind after the rinse are your resin has been exhausted and it needs replacing. Check your TDS meter to confirm. There's a lot of dust in the air that's settling on water droplets as they dry. In that case, you wouldn't want to drag a towel across it anyway. You had existing embedded water spots on the paint before using the system. You need to clean this with water spot remover or polish it to remove it. Or the detergent you're using contains added wax or sealant. Some soaps leave a residue, purified water alone won't clear. This system is great on hot or sunny days. Normally you'd avoid washing it in direct sun because minerals dry on the paint before you can wipe it off. With zero TDS water, that's no longer a problem. After you've finished using it, what happens is the water goes in through the top and the resin at the top starts getting depleted. The more you use it, the more it starts traveling down. So if you're starting to see TDS meters showing 1 or something like that, it's a little bit too early, what you can do is, after you finish using it, while there's still water in there, just plug this end in, just so there's water inside still, and you just lift it, give it a shake it around a bit, if you can. If you've got the really large ones, you probably can't do that. It doesn't matter as much for the large ones, it matters more for the smaller ones. Another thing, when you're storing it, number 1, store it out of direct sunlight. So in a garage somewhere because heat also degrades the resin faster. When you're not using it, just keep this hose plugged in on both ends because oxygen also degrades the resin faster. So that's it for the instructions. If you've got any other questions, please message me, call me, I don't mind. I'm always happy to help. Enjoy.